Welcome back to Geek Aloud, and today another Let's Play, and we're doing a bit of a follow-up to the Let's Play that we did launch day for AFL 23. Launched in a bit of a disastrous state, but they have thrown a few patches in the last couple of days. Did see a Twitter there from Big Ant Games, the developer, saying that they're working on the patches in a couple of days post-launch. Unfortunately for the PlayStation 5 and 4, it has to go through the certification process with Sony to get that. You can see there that we're running now at, the launch day patch was version 1.000.005, and we're now running at 005. So we'll jump into the game and see how it is looking now. As I said, the launch day was fairly average. There was, look, to be fair, it was almost at an unplayable level. Even, we did a half of basically a quick game, and you could see some of the AI was pretty ordinary, so hopefully that's not too far away. So, as I said, we'll get into the game. We'll have a look and see how we are travelling, see if the AI is any better, see how the controls are looking in terms of whether they fix that up, and some of the graphical issues as well that we saw, to be honest, were not great. We'll go to the right. So I'll start off with this camera angle, but one piece of advice I was given by one of the viewers in the comments was try to do the now let's see how we go with this. Oh, went too far. Was to do it from an end-to-end camera, which I think, from what I understand, was a bit better to see, I guess, sort of. Well, you can see there, even the handball looks. The handball system, which was, at launch, was a bit iffy, seems to be somewhat better. So that's a start. It looks like the AI is marginally improved in respect of as I said, you can't just run from one end of the ground to the other and hope for the best. So
Guthrie leading by example. Bit of a nothing kick. Dangerfield only knows one way.
It looks like it's playing a bit better.
McInerney gets his hand to it. They've got good chemistry, those.
Although that's still a bit of an issue that you can see there. So if you watch the Geelong players, which is the blue and white, the team I'm playing against Brisbane, which is the red and blue team, you can see that your opposition, so the AI, is running towards the ball. It looks like there's still a few issues there in terms of your direct opposition player. Doesn't appear at this stage to be essentially following and sort of lagging off a little bit, which is less than ideal. Oh, kicked the man out of the mark. That was terrible. Oh. I suppose that's one of the other things as well. It's always really difficult with AFL football because there is so much sort of movement going on with, and you can see there, that's what I was talking about there with you. Well, I still managed to get it, so there you go.
There goes the kick inside the 50. Cameron.
Is that the tackle and the hand pass are the same button.
Uses the non-preferred. Hawkins looms large as usual. Rowan receives a clever hand pass. Good build-up. It's there.
So if you go to tackle it and for some reason you don't realise that you picked up the ball, is that you just automatically handball it away. So
One goal straight plays, no
again,
McAdooney, the winner there. Knew the tackle was
just some of the
Berry leading from the front.
little machinations, I suppose, with
Stewart is there to save
with
the
AFL football.
Away he goes. He's generally a good kick. Dangerfield had his name written all over it. He's in the clear, so he'll have a bounce.
So you can see there, at least the opposition seems to be.
And should have a shot.
Now let's just see, because there is a way, if we have a look into the settings and controls, that you can actually set up for a goal kick and a set shot is circle. So we'll see how we go with that. There we go.
Sets up a foot race.
Ooh.
Bad kicking there.
What we've done there. So, whoops, no, we don't want to exit. We just want to go back into the control settings. So if you've got attacking, so it was doing a pass kick there. So what you want to do is, I assume, looking at that, is another circle.
Good kick. Quality delivery by foot. Sees something he likes. Rich, working hard and presenting well.
And you can see there, that's
Has found some space.
again the
Doesn't often waste it. McAdooney.
my players seem to be really lagging off, which is, if they get into a bit of a run like this, it's going to make it mildly difficult to try and get the ball back.
Cameron wins the contest hands down.
Goals have been tough to come by. Got to make the most of your opportunities.
It's a tough kick. Struck it well. Is it through?
They've kicked their goal there, so
The big men fly. It's a tough game. Stanley is there in the clinches. Loose ball on centre
and
wing.
again, so I don't know, that's, I think it was a handball out, and for some reason that has gone from the centre of the ground to the boundary, which less than ideal.
Wins the tap. Dunkley onto it in a flash. Clean pickup. Neil running in support. Well, I suppose if you're going to turn it over, that's not the worst place. Throws it on the boot. No wonder coaches go.
I suppose that's, you can see there where we've kicked it to the opposition player there, but that's going to be something that we're just going to have to work on in terms of the
Terrific grab there. Sees an
the power, I
opportunity,
guess.
plays on. Kicks to space. Hughes made that ball his. The defenders will be nervous. Hawkins is so
There we go,
strong.
there we go. Alright, let's see how we go. Let's see if we can get.
6 points or 1.
The siren's gone. I don't think it's going to be enough power on the kick, to be honest, but there you go. Not even close. So I guess the patch that they've released post launch day seems to be making it a bit more playable. It was almost, you know, as per the original Let's Play that we did, was, in my opinion, borderline unplayable the way it was.
Thanks, Gary. As we get going again.
The way it was launched, and again, you know, it's one of the things, I'm not going to sit here and be overly critical of Big Ant Studios, because the reality is, anyone that was expecting a EA style or 2K style presentation and level of gameplay, I think were, you know, really kidding themselves, to be honest with you. But the counter argument to that is they're charging full price for this game, so the reality is that it should have been in some sort of state that was somewhat playable, I guess. So
Is anyone home? Dangerfield. Here's real danger now. I've liked this game today. That didn't travel far enough. Blitzers. Got to get it on quickly. Berry didn't need to be asked twice. Gunston.
the fact is, I guess they've acknowledged the fact that it wasn't in a great state on launch day, and they've acknowledged that fact. They're going away and they're working on it. So I guess that's realistically is what you can hope for. If they'd have turned around and just said, look, yeah, we understand it's not great, but we've done our best and there's not much more we could have done to get it up to a standard, you'd be probably pretty annoyed. But
waiting for the right moment to press go. Can they keep the footy this time? Cameron gathers in the centre
there's that
square.
wild handball again.
Mops that one up. Probing ball. They've put themselves under pressure. Stewart out of the congestion. Berry with a chance now. Hipwood presents in space. Lays it off. You can't question his commitment. Going at his first, and he's got it.
A midfielder who consistently hits the scoreboard is a real valuable commodity in modern footy.
Away we go once more. Good ruck work and good roving too. Bailey, was that a throw? Neil rolling the sleeves up. Dangerfield takes the
Again, there's that problem with the handball and the tackle being the same button, I suppose.
He's got an option in the centre square. Close.
So if you don't realise that you've actually
Guthrie can run with the footy. That'll work. Just needs
got the ball. Oh, get in there, bounce. Didn't want to bounce.
On the ball now. Rich in some space now. Gardner marks in the back pocket. Clever kick. Honours the lead. Gives the handball away. McCluggage. Starcevic. Normally creative. Turned over on centre wing. Sees something he likes. Drives it inside the forward 50. Hawkins. Too big.
We'll try this again with the set shot kick and see if we can do a bit better. So there's two actions to it there. You got to hold the button there to get it up to the power that you want. And then as you're running in,
accuracy and distance might both be problems here.
you got to hit it again, which so the issue with that one is there's a input lag there, so push the button to do the kick, and what it's actually done is not registered it at all, resulting in the kick not going where you're actually wanting it.
The Cats guarding the corridor. Stewart leads his opponent. Big ball to be won here. Rowan, strong grab. What's he got on offer? Stengel is the man on the spot.
We'll try this again. Let's see if we can get it to register this time. So we've got basically straight on. Oh, you got to hold it down. So it did register at that time, but you got to hold the button down to get that power up, which I did not do on that occasion. So I'll have to remember that for the next one.
Marks on centre wing. Into the middle with the kick. McInerney all alone in the centre square. Berry, what can he do with it? Kolajasny wins it back. Great mark. The Cats might be able to start something. Heads towards the half-forward flank. Out-bodies his opponent and took a ripper. Picking their way through. Stengel demanded the footy and got it towards the goal man.
There we go. Get ourselves a bit closer.
And he marks.
Hopefully. When we get into the set shot here. So hold down, let go, and let's see if we can get as we're walking in, there we go. That time we got it.
So a timely goal late in the piece. McInerney wins it out of the centre. Plenty of heat in this game. Bailey.
So again, you can see that there's still a little bit of work to be done, although it's a lot better than what it was in terms of the opposition AI seems to be a lot better than what it was. Oh, that'll be holding the ball. The opposite, as I said, the opposition is AI seems to be a lot better than what it was on launch day, which is fantastic. But your AI, whether they need to do a bit more work on that, just to see in terms of when your opposition sort of runs off, your player either, is going back the opposite direction or
This match is there for the taking for the team that wants to play an attacking brand of football. Good on you, Gary.
Or standing still, so that, you know, less than ideal because you're just basically in effect allowing.
He's off. He might have thought about the corridor. Stanley read it well and claims the mark. Smith can run, and that's a great hand pass. No way through there, and they'll reset. McInerney had his measure today. Dunkley on the same page as his run. Ho chops it off. Sets a task for the forwards. Rowan can go back and put them in front.
So we'll see how we go with this from a bit further out. It doesn't look... Can't really see any wind there, so I don't know whether that's... And again, didn't register, but managed to go straight. So didn't register that second input again, which is the second time now, which is less than ideal.
In the thick of it, as ever. Was he held without it? Closed him down.
Holding the ball.
Delightfully done. Berry is released by the handball. Gets the kick away. Poor footy there.
I don't know with the marking, because it seems if I get my player anywhere near the ball and you tap the button for mark, it seems more often than not that that my player is out marking the opposition. So we'll see it again here. This
kick was misdirected. Seizes the moment. Drives it inside the forward 50. Guthrie gets to the front spot. Nice little give. That's good aggressive footy. Rowan runs in.
There we go, runs in an open goal. So the opposite has happened to me on that occasion, where there was no opposition players in the forward 50.
McInerney wins it down. Neal does the roving. Gunston moving the footy laterally.
And again, so my player out marking.
Good penetration on the kick. Cameron, great hands there. Breaks the line. Knew where the help was. Rowan in the forward pocket.
Well, it didn't go in the direction it was desired.
Onto the non-preferred.
So here we go. That, yeah, so again,
What a bonus this would be.
my player, second of the ball, but seems to be out marking the opposition more often than not. So, and again, didn't register the input, but it's gone straight. So there we go. So what we might do, just to see here, we'll go into the settings. As I mentioned at the start, the end normal. So we'll try that. Hopefully it defaults after we... Yeah, so there we go. Now the only issue that I can see with this is if I get the ball back, is how the camera then rotates back around into my direction. It's alright at the moment because you've got... Oh no, what have you done?
Oh, it's been paid. It's effectively a free goal. This would give him a shot of
yeah, so how the camera switches around once the ball's turned over. So it's obviously, if the opposition have got it, it's facing towards their goals. But if I get it back, how that rotates around and how that sort of looks. So hopefully, like I have to say, since I turned the camera around, I can't get my hands on the ball.
It's so important to be efficient in front of goal, especially when it's tight on the scoreboard.
Which is, to be fair, less than ideal. So hopefully we can get it, we can test that out. See how that works, because that will be, in my opinion, a make or break for this camera angle as to... There we go. So it's a quick pivot around, which is okay when you get the mark. You can sort of say, yeah, that's okay, but because the play's in essence slowed down, it'll be an issue I can see, to be honest, when it's a handball or an intercept or whatever it is. I don't know what's happened there. So you've
The
if you saw down the bottom there,
He hasn't had a big impact.
there you go. Knocked a trophy. What's that for? Score a goal from kick out or behind in field and 5 disposals. There you go. Not bad.
The Cats have steadied after they were
The actual meter for your kick in. So there you go. We saw there that rotating around. I can tell you right now that is, and again we saw it there, and it's going to do it again. So we're flipping around back and forth, which is not a great. And again, yeah. So we might switch this back because there is no way. Side normal. There is no way that I can play like that with it flicking around in that manner. So if you get a couple of turnovers where it's going from one team to the other in sort of quick succession, it becomes almost nauseating with the screen flipping around, and you almost can't tell what's going on, which is borderline ridiculous.
Kicks to centre wing. Close. Uses the body well. Stripped to the footy.
Tries to take him on and loses.
He might have done better. Towards half forward with the kick. Rayner has found some space. The Cats have got their noses in front as we turn for home.
So I'll finish up the last quarter here, and I'll give you some overall thoughts as to where it sits. I think my recommendation was on launch day that it would be one to keep your eye on if you're interested in, and look or wait for the patches to roll out.
We'll see how it plays out. Thanks, Gary. Gets his hands on it early. Good for the confidence. Stewart with a terrific mark deep in defence. That's almost worth a kick. The Cats should be able to clear now. Can they get something going? They're moving the footy well here. He looked in trouble. They've managed to slip the net. Smith gathers. Met solidly. It hasn't been a great spectacle, but at least it's close. McInerney has rucked tirelessly. Dunkley should be in the votes today. There goes the kick inside the 50. It's a tough game. We've got another stoppage.
And still the other thing is
McInerney with a deft tap. Neil,
which I hadn't mentioned, is the ball ups or the ruck throwing. So it doesn't actually tell you, and this is probably one of the things that is lacking in the game, is a tutorial or an instructional sort of showing of the game. Because as I said during the play here, it's AFL footy is a fairly different beast in terms of a video game adaptation of a sporting event. It's a massive field, but not only that, it's a bigger field than soccer. But the thing with soccer is you have your offsides, but you're generally just playing in one position. You might occasionally go backwards, but it's fairly static when I shouldn't say static, but there isn't as much, I guess, turnover and sideways movement and backwards movement and all that sort of stuff, which you do get in AFL. So in terms of the control scheme, that the fact that they haven't actually put together a tutorial and you're sort of learning on the fly and having to, as we saw before, I ducked in a couple of times just to check out some of the control schemes and that sort of stuff. But one of the ones that I even on launch day, I had a quick look through. I couldn't see it, but with this, where we're seeing now the ruck contest, so it's the right stick that makes your player go forward and compete, which I couldn't see anywhere, and that was only through discussions with friends that had played it as to how to actually compete in that area.
They can smell victory. Gardner read that well. Sees something he likes. McCluggage working hard and being rewarded. The clock is the enemy now. Dunkley on centre wing has marked. Can he be the fire starter? The kick was centimetre perfect. Kicks to half forward. This is good ball movement. Hipwood wins a hard ball. Looking to peg one back. Sloppy disposal and a turnover. The Cats are bringing great energy. Smith is hard to beat one-on-one. They're playing with purpose and poise. And inside 50 goes begging. Hurry kick goes very wide. Gardner can keep it moving. Gunston, that one was always his. Good vision there. He's kicked it high. Blitzers got to the full. Away he goes. The Lions forcing them out wide. Duncan takes a beauty. Finally, they go inside 50. Quality delivery by foot.
He hasn't missed yet. Can he keep a clean sheet?
Oh, I forgot to hold it again. That's going to hurt.
The Cats finishing strongly. Gardner.
Well, that's rather annoying because if you just push the button fairly early on to kick it off, but you don't hold it, you're actually kicking to the man on the mark, which is, clearly not ideal.
Delivers a long ball. Hawkins. That's a big play.
This is what he gets paid to do. Kick these goals.
So again, you got to remember to hold, release, and then we'll see. Again, this has been a little bit of a bugbear as you're walking in that. There you go, registered that time.
And he has delivered.
The Cats are going from strength to strength. They've got all the answers at the minute.
The Lions haven't been able to go with them. Rucks go at it. Berry has been a shining.
So even though we've worked, as I said, mentioned before, even though we've worked out how to deal with that,
Guthrie, so influential today.
That's got to be a free
the ball
kick.
ups and the centre bounces and that sort of stuff, that there's still obviously a bit of timing and stuff that you've got to sort of work your way through to work into it.
Hughes chops it off. You can see their confidence growing.
There we go. So that's a full game there of AFL 23 post-launch. And unlocked another trophy there. Look at that. Win one match. So there you go. Where do I sit with it now? Infinitely better gameplay-wise than what it was on release day with that new 005 patch that they have released. As I said, Big Ant Studio are continuing to work. I might just see if we can pause that out of the way. Big Ant Studio are continuing to work on patches for it. There's some game modes that still need to be implemented. Hopefully they come out shortly. Has my opinion changed since our Let's Play on launch day? I would suggest no at this stage. While it is in a more playable state, there's still some issues that need to be fixed, and as I mentioned, those game modes that need to be thrown in as well. So I'm sort of sitting on the fence in respect of whether to recommend it at this point or not. For those that are wanting a full experience, I would say no, wait and wait for those patches to come out and get it up to that standard that we were expecting at launch. But on the other hand as I mentioned earlier, they're a small Australian-based studio. They clearly don't have the capacity that your 2K and your EA in terms of studio size and budget and all that sort of stuff. So, it'd be wrong to expect something in that realm. But from my point of view, I'm always happy to support Australian developers, especially in the gaming industry. We don't have a lot down here. I'm always happy to support them if that means that they get some more money through game sales that allow them to put a bit more time and effort and a bit more budget into A, fixing this one, and B, that we've shown the support that there is an audience for this game, that we get some future releases as well, because unfortunately, and that's just the way it is with a small market, is that unless they sell, the reality is we're unlikely to get new ones down the track, and even if we do, they won't be till great standards. So that's the other point, or the other way that I look at it is support these small developers. Make sure that you throw some support behind them at some stage. If that means you're waiting another week or two just till they've ironed out some of those issues before you go and buy it, that's entirely up to you. So much more enjoyable playing state, but bit of work to do. So on that note, we will finish up this Let's Play here for AFL 23 on Geek Aloud. What else can you do with the channel? Like and subscribe. You'll never miss it.
Oh, that was luck. Hey, that's something.
Oh!
Old Uncle Donkey.
Donkey.